In his 7-year career, the Dodgers clinched their 12th straight playoff appearance with Thursday's win. The LA Sparks snapped an 8-game losing streak with a 17-point win at Minnesota last night. The Sparks finished the season 8-32. New Orleans Saints quarterback Derek Carr was fined by the NFL for doing a Michael Jackson move after scoring a touchdown last Sunday against Dallas. Carr grabbed his crotch area, one of Jackson's signature moves, but viewed as offensive by the NFL. Maybe Carr should have done Michael's moonwalk. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tavis is under attack. I can't get his radio station on my transistor. I'm getting the Asian station that he's right around, but they're not letting KBLA 1580 come in. I'm not getting the black man. So let Tavis know he's under attack. Cyber attack, racist attack, fascist attack, but he's under attack. And they doing something to disrupt his radio station so they won't get the truth out to us.
Hey, it's Tavis. We appreciate all that love, let me tell you, because we may very well be under attack on all sides. Just because you don't believe in conspiracy theories don't mean they ain't after you. But in reality, sometimes stuff happens with the signal from the studio to the tower, which sends our programming to your car, home, office, or your transistor radio. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app, the sound is clear as a bell all day, all night, anywhere in the world, from Los Angeles to Lagos. So we love all of our listeners, no matter how you hear us. But when you download the KBLA 1580 app and hear that richness, you'll wonder why you didn't do it sooner. But don't take my word for it. Download the KBLA 1580 app right now. I'm Tavis Smiley, and I approve this message.
Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
KBLA Talk 1580. Sensational indeed. Happy Friday, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. From unpacking Freedman Friday to the latest on what happened with reparations in the CLBC at our state's capital to the presidential race and beyond. Right now, the phone lines are wide open, and I am welcoming you in 800-920-1580. I did watch some of the forum. That's what the New York Times is calling it, an emotional forum with Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah Winfrey interviewing Vice President Kamala Harris. They had a room full of folks in person. Then they had tens of thousands on Zoom. And they had a bunch of celebrities tapping in. They took questions from the audience. questions from Oprah, watching a master class on broadcasting. I was taking notes at the same time I was listening to what was said, and I think it was very effective, my opinion. Now, are they going to move MAGA voters with that? No, most of them already hate Oprah. Are they going to move young black men? I don't know. Maybe we should ask Miles. I don't know. He probably didn't see it. I know a lot of black men are not super fond of Oprah, but nevertheless, she is the best at what she does. And people who say they don't know the vice president, she was sitting there talking to Oprah, talking to the audience, speaking with folks on Zoom, and it very much filled the prescription for people that say they want to see more of the vice president off the cuff in interview situations and more of the vice president's personality and her own, just who she is, her persona. Let's go to Link calling us from LA. And actually, I asked Link to call in today because, there's a stereotype about what kind of people support the vice president, especially black men. And I've encountered both people from the community, black men, young and middle age, who are leaning towards Trump. But I've also encountered quite a few people, whether they would be black men from all walks of life, including hoodsters, including people you guys want to call alpha, even though that's not scientifically a thing, who are very adamantly in support of the vice president. What do you say, Link?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, Miles, my man. What I would say is a lot of our contemporary or younger generation, they haven't been through any history. They don't really know a lot about history or geography, what happened and where it happened. And if they had known these things, then they would see that history can repeat itself, and that the people that we are dealing with and the groups and the movements that we are dealing with are plotting and are laying in wait. So we have to be strong. We got to control our dollars. And you know what? I'm going to talk about the vice president and Oprah and last night, and I thought that was beautiful.
We have to control our what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. We're going to
dollars.
Our dollars.
Our
Got
dollars.
it. Got it.
No, they don't respect any of the other things. And you know what? On Monday, Dominique, when I texted you that gentleman, I said he needed a hug, and he was just going on and on and on. But there's no solution.
Dr. James Lance Taylor, political scientist, is who you're talking about. Yeah.
And I respect the brother. I think he did a great job, but it's all grievance. There's no solution. We got to – all we have to do with the number one group for consumption of all of the above, economics, we have to control our dollars. That's the only way they will ever respect us. And it can't be a person. I told you this before, because they'll either get rid of a person, they'll sully his reputation, or execute him. It has to be a movement. When they do something wrong, when they do something to one of our children or to one of our citizens, we shut off the money. That's the only way we will ever be respected. That or a revolution. I'm being really serious now. Because all you ever hear is grievance. Can you believe what they did? That is like our opening line. Can you believe what they said?
So when you say shut off the money, you're talking about boycotts?
Yes, economics. That's it. That's all they know. It's like math. Math is it's always the same. There's nothing, you can't deviate from math. And look at the word salads that are going on. These people that support this movement on the right, they know that this guy's a fool. I told you that. They know he's a fool, but he represents what they want, and he knows that. He's trying to survive. He doesn't give a darn about any of the above.
Right.
Go ahead, Dominique.
So meaning that, it's just strategic on their part. They just want to win on the issues, regardless of what price they pay in terms of their souls or our nation. Right.
You are, yes, that's what I'm saying. And they will vote against their own personal interests just to feel like they're better than the person next door. And it's sad. It's crazy to me. But we got to control our dollars. But what it was last night, it showed that Vice President Harris has a compassion, has a strength, has experience in life. She wasn't handed everything. She had to struggle to get to where she is. And I don't know how anyone can say anything negative about her. She was elected in these positions. She's strong. She was successful, educated herself, a single mother. Her mother was a single mother with 2 daughters in Oakland. I don't understand why people just can't see that. Like, it's just like those idiots that are in the audience sitting behind 45, with gold chains on and hats turned around, nodding and bobbing. They are such idiots. It's unbelievable. And I know everybody has the same reaction when they see him. And I can't say it on radio. And I don't.
Well, here's the thing, though, Link. I mean, are we just giving up on people? Are we just rolling our eyes and saying they're stupid? Should we be trying to reel these brothers back in? Sometimes I think it's impossible based on some of the conversations I've had. But on the other hand, and I try to come with information as much as I can and consequences rather than just judging them. Yeah, I know. I may have been a bit judgy about Amber Rose and Kid Rock, but nevertheless, how mad can you be at somebody like Kodak Black or Lil Wayne who thinks, well, I can stay out of jail if this guy is the president? Because they might not care that he executed 5 black people on death row, hurried up and did it before he got out of office. Or they may not realize that he, is enacting policies that, and will continue to enact policies that will starve children and elders with the cuts to Social Security and the child tax credit. I mean, that kind of thing. I don't know. Are we doing the right thing to reel these young brothers and sisters in to understanding why a vote for Trump is a vote against their best interests?
Well, I think we are. I think in terms of Lil Wayne or people that are at that level and from what they come from, they're living in a different world, a reality. If you don't want to get, locked up, then don't do stupid stuff. Try to at least, and maybe I'm not hitting the note you want me to.
No, I mean, I want you to be you and do you, Link. But I'm just saying.
I'm going to do that.
I mean,
I'm going to do that.
And I agree. Our actions have consequences. But then if I'm a guy who, or woman, but a lot of them are guys who see Trump, he's a billionaire, and they think he's swaggerific, and he says the quiet part out loud. They equate that with being honest, because he's willing to say you can grab women by the, nether regions. And he seems to be living the American dream, hot wife, gross side piece. When your wife looks better than your side piece. Anyway, I digress. I don't know if that's the right messaging. You're an idiot, and you know what I mean? Like.
Well, I'm not talking about all of them in general. I'm talking about the people that are the photo ops, or the woman that was down in Georgia.
Keyword ops.
The one that was like, "Mama, look, I made it," and she was a Republican person that was involved in.
That was paid off to be there.
So no, reach out to people. People, like I already explained it. If you don't know your history, I try to reach these people. I try to explain to them. I try to talk to people and reach their level. And
okay, let me tell you something, and we can keep going on the other side, but let me tell you something that a young black man said to me. Well, he's a 40-something. Well, it's not super young, but he's not super old. He said there is no room in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's Democratic Party for black men that are not saucy Santana. Those are his exact words. And I want to get your reaction to that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
Have you noticed the hype around retinol lately? It's all over my social media. But did you know you can get retinol in a body wash? Amazing, right? Olay Retinol Body Wash is packed with moisturizing vitamin B3 complex plus retinol to transform dry skin to visibly renewed in just 14 days. Try it the next time you shower and see the difference for yourself with Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. And try Olay Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Look, it's Friday. We can talk about whatever you want. I'm on the way out the door to the weekend, and there is so much going on that really bears conversation. But I started out talking about the Unite for America broadcast with Oprah Winfrey and Kamala Harris. And you know you're Oprah when you can just team up with a community organization. Unite for America, these black women who started this whole chain reaction of calls in support of Vice President Kamala Harris that have raised millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then you've got networks carrying it. You've got CNN and MSNBC and ABC, NBC, CBS, because you're Oprah and you have the vice president and you've got Meryl Streep endorsing and J-Lo endorsing and Chris Rock endorsing. And so it was a really heavy-hitting night. But I was asking you to respond, Link, to this guy who said to me, basically, if you're not a gay, trans, black man, there's no place for you in Kamala Harris's America. I guess they haven't seen her brother-in-law or her friends, her friend group. But I wonder how you respond to that. I'm not one of those black men, so I can't speak to it in the same way.
Okay, am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, I didn't even know what that meant. And the fact that person who made that comment knew what that meant, that says a lot. I came up. I remember I was a child. I was a child when President Kennedy got killed. I remember when Martin got assassinated, Malcolm, Bobby Kennedy, just all of the above. And we went through some hard times through the 60s and 70s. and even more in the 80s. Like I said, these people need to know their history. What happened in the 80s that affected our communities? And we have to realize, and the vice president says it all the time, that we have a lot more in common than we don't. And this is all part of the three-card money of psychological games with people that have them at each other's necks all the time. The choice is so clear. It's so clear, and I know there are people who feel that they can't share, that if they have to give up something, that there's going to be something taken away. That is not correct. That is not true.
That's not a zero-sum game. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we can all have something. We all need each other. We all need each other. And you can't tell. Look what we're doing to this earth. Look at what's going on with these fires. Look at what's going on with these tornadoes.
Yeah.
Everybody's affected. There's no certain person that's affected. Everyone is affected by these world issues.
Look,
so wake up.
Yeah, a couple things I want to address in the chat. Selena Rick says she's not a fan of Oprah. I understand that. I'm not a fan of all of her politics, all of her moves, all of her histrionics, but she is a master of broadcasting. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to be taking notes on that. And then Jerry Anderson says the VP is qualified, has her vote, but also says maybe we need a black agenda rather than a black president. I said we could have both. Link, yes. I so appreciate you hopping in and setting off this conversation. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys and the platform that you give us all. And everyone, get out of your feelings. Get out of your own way. Do your research. And I love y'all. Have a great weekend.
We love you more. We're going to go to Big John calling us from L.A. And, get out of your feelings. But I'm not going to lie. That story about the young woman who died because she couldn't get medical help because of Georgia's 6-week abortion ban, where she went to another state, got the medical care she needed, and then there were complications, and she died in Georgia because doctors were afraid to treat her. I'm not going to lie. I cried. I really did. I don't know if I've ever cried at an Oprah show before, but I cried at that. Okay, Big John is on the phone, John Harrell. I also asked him to call because I want to hear from the brothers that you guys will call real brothers, regular dudes, and that, are, as far as I can tell, supporting the vice president. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Excellent. Not dead in jail. My sister's not dead in jail, so it's all good.
Okay. Low bar, but yeah, I agree. I'm not either on this fine Friday. I don't know if you saw the Oprah thing. I know you saw the debate because we talked about it. Yes. Talk to me about your reactions to what you're hearing from Vice President Kamala Harris and seeing.
Well, from what I'm hearing is a young woman who understands what's going on and moving forward. And for me, I just don't understand people who don't comprehend what she's saying. And some of the people I talk to, they're just ignorant. And what I mean by ignorant, they don't read, they listen to talking points, and they keep going about some stuff that it's not even true. But for me, to see that sister stand up there tall, I mean, it's just a testament to our strength. And we sit up here as black men and say we support our queens. Well, there's one right there. How come you don't want to support her? Just because she's a woman? That's like saying you don't support somebody because they're black. Come on.
I mean, and respectfully, Selena Rick says, yeah, she's going to go with West Abdullah. And, I'm not mad at that. But, and
all that stuff is, you respect it, but it's still silly. See, to me, we need to take a page out the people who get down with Agent Orange. They get down with Agent Orange no matter what. That's how we need to be lined up right now with Kamala.
Ride or die for the vice president instead of
absolutely,
what about and what if and analyzing ourselves.
And talking about stuff that happened yesterday. Hey, listen, there's things I've done back in my life that I'm not proud of, but I'm here now. People change, people do things, and at the end of the day, if we're gonna hold everybody accountable what they did yesterday, then what we looking in the Bible for? They talk about second chances. So this sister can't get a second chance. She talking for us. About us and want to move the country together. So what's up with that? Because if everybody had the same bar that we putting on her, none of us would be where we at right now.
None of us would be president, that's for sure. Do you think that What do you think it is that she needs to do, say, to move younger black men or move men who aren't younger into the support category, into the I will vote for you category?
I don't think it's nothing she needs to say. I think the older black men need to gather up the younger black men and get them on par. These dudes that got issues with their mothers or black women, dude, get over yourself. And at the end of the day, if you feel like you've been robbed, it was an inside job. All that, we call that punk ass in the community. If you sit up there acting like that, can she do the job? Yes or no? If you're over there whining about something you can't even prove or it didn't even happen to you, but then you give other people passes, that's just nonsensical. Nonsense. So you think that this other team is really going to?
Oh, man, we lost Big John. Okay. Well, maybe he'll call back in. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. We lost Big John in the middle of the conversation, but hopefully he will call us back. In the meantime, let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Good morning, Kwamel.
Hello there.
Hey.
I got to keep things nice and hearty and good, but I want to catch. I think Big John took care of a great point, and Link actually took care of a great point too, because there's things you got to watch with what people latch on to and decide that's what a person is or that's what a group is based on somebody they don't like. We know the whole thing about, a lot of people mess with Trump because, he hates who they hate, like whatever group they pick that they don't like, whether it's queer folks, like how to Link's whole Saucy Santana point, like, we don't want to see our men look like that, and we think this thing is going to happen. Trump's probably going to punish them. We don't like women who are powerful and are going to be boss of anything. Trump's going to punish them. I think there's two other things that also are in play. There's a contingent among black folks where there's always this, Trump bad, but Kamala worse. And I think it comes from where they've decided they're going to stick it to Democrats some kind of way. They want to punish the Democrats, punish the Democratic Party, and let them know, like, you don't deserve power because you didn't do this particular thing. It's not just black folks. It's a lot of other groups, too, where there's this heavily pressed anti-Democrat sentiment among them. I was thinking about it this week, and I said, like, that it has to really be that bad. You have to really feel that jaded or that burnt to constantly say this and constantly drive that point as if you're not even looking at who this person is. You just decided because, Democrats didn't deliver for me or did this particular thing. Almost like this grudge, like somebody killed your mama.
Yeah. Hey, Kwamel, hold that thought. I'd love to keep talking with you after news, traffic, and sports. Got a hard stop, as they say, at the bottom of the hour. Continuing the conversation, though, when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Kamala Harris campaign is outspending the Trump campaign by 20-1 on Facebook and Instagram. The New York Times says Harris spent over $12 million on Meta's platforms during the week of the debate, while the Trump campaign spent about $600,000. There is a new report that says the U.S. spends the most and delivers the least when it comes to health care. Healthcare think tank, the Commonwealth Fund, conducted its annual survey of 10 developed countries, and the U.S. ranked in the bottom 2 in 4 of 5 categories. An African-American woman in Michigan is believed to be one of the first people in the world to receive a successful stem cell transplant from the bone marrow of a deceased donor to treat leukemia. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Is this the This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Dodger star Shohei Ohtani solidified himself as one of the greatest players in Major League Baseball history. In the Dodgers' 20-4 win at Miami, Ohtani became the first MLB player to reach 50 homers and 50 stolen bases in a season. Ohtani hit 3 homers, stole 2 bases, and had a club record 10 RBIs. Ohtani will also be in the playoffs for the first time in his 7-year career. The Dodgers clinched their 12th straight playoff appearance with Thursday's win. The LA Sparks snapped an 8-game losing streak with a 17-point win at Minnesota last night. The Sparks finished the season 8-32. New Orleans Saints quarterback Derek Carr was fined by the NFL for doing a Michael Jackson move after scoring a touchdown last Sunday against Dallas. Carr grabbed his crotch area, one of Jackson's signature moves, but viewed as offensive by the NFL. Maybe Carr should have done Michael's moonwalk. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
October 2nd is California Clean Air Day. It's your chance to ride Metro for free. You'll be helping make the air cleaner and our roads less crowded. Let's clear the air together and make Los Angeles healthier. Check out metro.net for more info. If you have asthma, you know that there are certain things that can set off your asthma symptoms. These things are called triggers, and patients with severe asthma have an average of 8 triggers. It could be pollen, dust, pollution, colds, viruses, smoke, or stress. If you know your symptoms, you have already taken the first step to managing your asthma. The next step is to write your triggers down in a notebook or journal and record your symptoms when you come across those triggers. This will give your healthcare provider valuable information about what you can do to help manage your triggers. By understanding your triggers and writing them down, you are on your way to taking back control of your lung health. Visit luma-edu.com for more guidance. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Yeah, this is one of those kitchen table conversations that I love to do. You can take it where you want to take it, 800-920-1580. But I started off talking about the Oprah Winfrey VP Kamala Harris conversation on last night, and the black women, who have made that happen. I also, we're talking with Kwamel. Kwamel, you were outlining this anti-Dem sentiment. I see it a lot on social media and in real life conversation. One of the talking points is black people need to get off the Democratic plantation. And I'm like, get off the Democratic plantation to go to the Republican slave ship? Like, what are you talking about right now? But anyway, I wanted to let you land. Or is it the Republican Klan meeting? Like, out of the frying pan into the incinerator. Yeah. Kwamel?
And that's why I'm saying you see this whole thing about advocating either the Trump vote, a general GOP vote, or a third party vote, but they're not asking anything. They're not demanding anything. I mean, it was 30 parties in particular. Sorry to the sister Selena, but it's a thing of not seeing a track record of progress and of success and of accomplishments from them, but kind of just going on hope. Whether it's the good brother Cornel West, who I would think could put some issues on the table, or with the whole Jill Stein thing, which we're not going to get into that because we've already kind of covered that. But it's the whole like oh well I'm that mad at you. I'm gonna give you this just to deny you. I'm gonna play spoiler to deny you. Now finally, because I know you want me to land, it was a video I was watching this morning with Bernie Sanders. He was talking with Hassan Minaj. And we know Hassan Minaj is kind of comedic with where he was going. He talked about some of like the Bernie bros and kind of some of the crowd that when Bernie didn't win, they checked out and just started kind of doing other things, which I think has happened with black folks that moved to red states. I remember someone, Doc Rock Tex on Twitter said the reason that these states are red is when you move to them, nothing change. They stay red because you don't move on it. You don't vote. You check out, and you just kind of hand it over to the grimies, the authoritarians. So Bernie said, I got to look at the world as it is, and make the most of it, do the best that I can with it. Hence, as I can interpret it, his caucusing with the Democrats, which I figure if Cornel West going to come in would do the same thing. And these one-issue folks with the Israel-Palestine thing, same thing, should do the same thing. But it takes political education and, again, that looking at the world as it is and seeing, okay, what do I have that I can actually play with? What resources are there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, Kwamel. Always appreciate the conversation. And the fact that you read and pay attention and watch the things that are on. Big John is back on the phone. Big John, I wanted to ask you because we were talking about, the Vice President Kamala Harris and black men who may or may not support her. One of the other things I've heard is that because Donald Trump signed the First Step Act, even though it originated under Barack Obama, and because he worked with Kim Kardashian and others to free a few brothers, they feel and they've seen, Lil Wayne and Kodak Black and others, they feel that black men will be more likely to get justice or have the opportunity to be free from incarceration under Trump. Even though, as I like to point out, Trump executed 5 on death row on his way out the door and hurried up. 5 black ones, 12 total. 5 black ones, and hurried up and did it on the way out the door. I just wonder what you would say to those men who believe that.
I just think they're uninformed. And oftentimes in our communities, a lot of the young brothers, they don't read, and they don't read with the intent to understand. They're basing their decisions off emotions because when they talk about Kamala and locked up people, what district attorney didn't lock up people? And at the end of the day, like I told them, I say, so let me hear if I'm correcting you, if I'm listening to you correctly. Are you saying that when black folks commit crimes, you ain't supposed to go to jail? You tell me. I mean, it's just nonsensical. They'll sit there and talk about this, but then they won't talk about the policies and everything else. You're like, hey, name the policy that's going to help you. What's going to help you? And they can't. They're going by emotions because they let somebody out of jail. Yeah, they're probably going to get out anyway because they let people out because of overcrowding. Come on. And he can only get people out the feds, not the state. We occupy the state more than we do the feds.
Interesting. Well, I don't know if you heard our town hall after the debate, but one of the things that became a very hot topic was the fact that the vice president is married to a white man, and one of the brothers in the room said that was the reason, one of the main reasons he would not vote for her.
So again, if she was married to a black man, he still wouldn't do it because it would be something else. Anybody, when they talk about failure to do something, can always give you a reason why. And so let me get this straight. Just because the other dude is not, he married to an immigrant or whatever, but just because you going to vote for that? So just because she's married to a white man, you okay with getting our rights taken away, branches of the government being taken away, all kind of stuff being taken away, basically going back to the 1800s. That's okay just because she was a white dude. How does that affect you, partner? Because you probably had a white girl. Come on now.
John Harrell, anything else you want to say about this race? I mean, we're 40-something days out now.
All I know is that I don't understand why people talk negative. It ain't nothing close. She gonna landslide this. We're gonna make sure of it. I'm not even having no conversations of, well, it's tight. No, it ain't. She gonna knock it in. She's doing her job. Again, if she wasn't doing her job, that'd be a different ball game. But she's doing her job. She's standing up there tall, looking presidential, and she wants to include everybody. And that's the only way we're going to win, and we're going to support her and make it happen. I'll tell you what, the IBEW is behind her.
IBEW, your union.
Yes.
Oh, I know I said that was the last question, but Teamsters failed to endorse. I know that didn't shock and surprise you, but I also noticed some locals are defying the national Teamsters and endorsing the vice president anyway, even though the national Teamsters have said no endorsement.
Again, people know this. There's something that has happened in the past 6 months where think about the power that's coming upon women that's due. You got Kamala about to do this. Look at the WMA, look at WNBA, look at the crowds. Look at the people that's getting their just due. There's a movement happening. Those ancestors are paving the way for this young lady to take over, and we're going to be there to support her.
John, thank you so much for checking in this morning. It's a great conversation. We're going to go to Mikael calling us from L.A. Good morning, sir.
From Mikael, the Hebrew Israelite. We're not supposed to vote, but I met Mr. Cornel West, and I told him that I was going to vote for him and the wonderful Melina Abdullah. But I don't see them in the debates. I don't see. Are they going to be on the ballot?
The reason they're not in the debate, Mikael, is because they have the parties have these thresholds. You got to get a certain percentage of the vote in polling, in a certain number of polls, or you have to raise a set amount of money. They haven't met those criteria, so they don't get to be in. A lot of people don't think that's fair, but that's the way the system is set up. And they will be on the ballot in some states and not in others, depending on whether they were successful in getting listed on the ballot. But you could always write it in if you want to do so.
Yeah, because I'm not going to vote for Trump or Kamala, but otherwise I would vote for them. Cornel West, met him and known her about 8-9 years, known you about 20.
Since I was 5. No, just kidding. Mikael, why? I mean, so this is important enough to you to break your philosophy of Hebrew Israelites not voting and to vote in this case?
Of course, they're going to, she's with Black Lives Matter, and we deserve reparation. We've done so much for this country. And now these immigrants are coming here taking all the jobs and everything. I don't hate them, but what about us? A black man invented the car. Black people.
I'm down with what about us, but many of the jobs that you're talking about are not the jobs we're looking for. Working at meat packing plants all night for, minimum wage or less without safety protections. I mean, we can get into that. I do think that whoever wins the presidency, we're going to have to really show up and make sure Black America is taken care of and not left behind. We can agree on that, Mikael.
Of course.
I would argue that it's corporate America that's taking our money, not immigrants that are taking our jobs. But we can have that conversation, and I do appreciate the call, and I appreciate you voting, because honestly, no matter what your philosophy, if you don't vote and then you complain, what even is that? Taking your phone calls all the way to the top of the hour when we'll get to the best of Tavis Smiley. All that straight ahead. The number, 800-920-1580. Let's talk about it. Let's get smarter. Let's engage. Let's get moving. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys?
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment, 12.7%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 9/30/24.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
Okay, lots of folks on the phone, which I absolutely love and appreciate. 800-920-1580. I raised the topic of Kamala Harris, the vice president, running for president, and black men in particular, but also the response to last night's meeting. And I was so happy to see Oprah give love to Jotaka Eddy, who was with a Win with Black Women. She's the founder of it, who started this whole momentum around these calls, raising money and awareness for VP Kamala Harris. Most of those organizations, White Dudes for Harris, etc., were on this rally call last night. Let's go to Anthony calling us from North Carolina. Hi, Anthony.
Yeah, how you doing? It's good that you have this radio station because we can communicate from coast to coast.
Yes.
And
over here in North Carolina, these jobs that they are doing, that the immigrants are doing, they are jobs that young black men need to be doing. I deliver lumber and stuff. 9 times out of 10, if I go to a housing complex or a new building complex or whatever, it's 95% Mexicans constructing it.
Now we have
Anthony.
To be fair, we have the same situation in LA with construction in particular.
Oh, because you say that they're getting jobs that we don't want.
In many cases,
jobs.
that is true. But I think the construction industry that I'm not going to act like that's not an issue here. That is definitely an issue in Los Angeles.
Okay. I believe that you need to just face the fact that there are different styles of black men in America.
I'm familiar. I've dated different styles of black men in America. Sorry, Anthony, go ahead. I know you're serious, and so am I. I'm just being funny because I love me some black men in America.
All right, to me, there are 3 kinds of black men. There's a black man.
You said there's 3?
A black man, an African-American, and a brother. A black man is most of the kind that we call the N-word because they act stupid. They do, that's the black man. He just painted black. The African-American, they believe in the system. The white man's system that got us to the point we are now, but y'all still believing that we can vote our way out of it and things going to change.
Are you voting? Sorry. Let me get to your third kind.
Right.
Your third kind is the brother. Got it.
A brother is kind of like Huey, Malcolm, or whatever. You can't convince us with the same old trickery time after time. We smarter than that. And there are brothers that just are not, and sisters that are just not feeling Harris. We don't know Harris or Trump. But we hear somebody.
So then why go towards the white guy? I mean, just to put it on your brother, African American. And I understand that black faces in high places is not the answer. Trump, he's white. Last time I checked.
But black people do you just as dirty. A black person, exactly what I said. A black person would do you even worse. An African American, they ain't too much of a difference. But a brother or sister won't do you like that. We don't feel the brother or sister version from Kamala. It just all kind of like made up, and we go through the same
but now you're going through just feeling, and I understand feeling is important, but we also have to look at facts. We have to look at what the policies are and what's been done. And if you compare her record in California, in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate, and as vice president to Trump's, there's clearly one advantage over the other. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying voting is enough because that would be going for the okie doke. We have to do much more than vote. That's just like the minimum.
Yeah, because that last call you had about 2 calls ago, he was so scary. No matter what, we just got to vote. And that was the dumbest thing I heard from a person say about voting in a long time. No matter what, they policies or whatever, join the Democratic thing. And that's what got us in the jam that we are in now. We can't get out of this jam by voting. We got to have a movement.
But we can't get out of the jam by not voting either. It's a both and. Voting takes 10 minutes. Voting takes 10 minutes. So, okay. Well, we can agree on that. I wish you would call me again, Anthony, because I love your theory about the 3 types of black men, and I really want to explore it deeper. We're right at the end of the show, and I want to get some other folks on. Will you call me back another day earlier so we can go a little deeper on that? I would argue there may be more, but I'm really interested in your theory.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too, and God bless. We're going to go to Paul calling us from L.A. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
You already know why I called. I heard some of this, and I was like, let me call in real quick. I'm just going to throw some quick facts out here because I know we're at the end of the show. So there was a Fox News Howard University poll that had Kamala at 82% of the black vote, Trump at 12%, and undecided at 5%. So basically, she's pretty much where Biden was in 2020. There's a narrative out there. The number one voting base for the Democratic Party is black women. Dominique, you know who number 2 is, right? It's black men behind black women. So that's why black people are the heart of the party overall. And I just want to get to points where people say tangibles and things of that nature, right? I don't know if people are aware, when it comes to student loan debt, can we talk about policies? Take parties out of it. I'm cool with us moving, coalescing, becoming more independent. I'm cool with that. But focus on the policies and proposals. So among 25 to 55-year-olds, about 40% of blacks compared to 30% of whites have student loan debt, right? So understanding that, the Biden-Harris administration has at this point forgiven over $168 billion for 4.76 million Americans. Talk about policies. We talk about middle-class tax cuts. Who are typically the middle-class working class? Black people. Lower housing costs, building more homes, helping with down payments for first-time home buyers. Who will that directly impact? Black people. Lower medical costs.
And look at the $4 billion for black farmers. That is for specifically for black farmers. And the only reason it went down to 4 instead of 6 is because Republicans sued and tried to stop it altogether. It only finally now just went through. But Biden and Harris proposed that on almost day one.
Oh, I'm just here for the facts. I was getting that one too, and I just want to add this to it. So there has been 19 million new business applications with average 443,000 filed each month. So the historic small business boom has been driven by women and people of color, with data showing that black business ownership has doubled since 2019, and women increasing business ownership at the pace nearly. So understanding that, what's happening is investment is coming, money is coming into the black community for underserved, but that we've been underserved and deprived. And that money has birthed a generation of new black entrepreneurship. Focus on the policies and judge nominations. Take the parties out of it. If you do that, it's clear who you're going to vote for.
All right, Paul, thank you. Appreciate you always. Nick, we don't have much time, but I'm squeezing you in here. Nick from Lancaster, you got like a minute. Sorry. You got to call me earlier.
I got to get to your call a different time. I got too much to say.
Okay.
Thanks for taking my call.
We're going to leave it there. All right. Well, call me Monday. You know, the phone lines are open. I keep my phone lines open all the time. Everyone's welcome. The trolls, the troopers, the informed, the uninformed, the hood. What is it Bo Taylor used to say, from the streets to the suites? Everyone's invited in around here. So that's what we're doing. Let's figure it out. 800-920-1580 every day. Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got a full lineup for you today with the best of the week that passed. Tavis will be back live in studio on Monday, as will I. And I hope to see you on social media in the meantime, and tracking these town hall meetings as well that are happening around the organizing for reparations. My friend James Farr will join me in the studio Monday, and we always have a nice, robust argument about the politics as well, since he's a third-party man. And I'm a progressive Dem, but I'm going all out for Harris, despite the fact that my dear friend Dr. Melina Abdullah is on the ticket with the brilliant Dr. Cornel West. Harris Walls, that's where my vote is right now. We're in an emergency. We must defeat fascism. That's how I see it. Always want to hear how you see it. We'll go to the Jim Brown philosophy, the decision-making process. Eliminate the negative. Establish the facts. And choose your best option. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until Monday, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.